At COP28, government ministers representing nearly 200 countries agreed to a deal that called for a transition away from fossil fuels. Seeking science-based solution to global climate crisis, Bangladesh demanded doubling of adaptation funding. At the conference, Bangladesh emphasized on political commitments from major carbon emitters to reduce global carbon emissions. The Bangladesh delegation said that the developed countries will have to play a leadership role to keep global warming within the range of 1.5 degrees Celsius. A report.
At the COP28 Climate Summit, representatives from almost 200 nations agreed to begin reducing global consumption of fossil fuels to avert the worst of climate change, signaling the eventual end of the oil age. The deal struck in Dubai after 2 weeks of hard-fought negotiations was meant to send a powerful message to investors and policymakers that the world is united in its desire to break with fossil fuels. But climate experts and activists in Bangladesh are worried about how to fund the phasing out of fossil fuels in the developing nation.
Bangladesh is trying its level best to phase out. Obviously, it would require climate finance, technology support, and investment. We have not seen that forthcoming at the rate that it deserves and at the rate which will enable Bangladesh to phase out on a faster track. It has the pathway, it is looking at the plans, but it is a country of 170 million people, and they still need to go to school and have hospitals, and they need to develop. So it would be difficult to say outright that Bangladesh will be able to do this in the short term. It could do a lot more if the climate finance was there, if the technological support was there.
Bangladesh also expressed disappointment over the draft text of the Global Goal on Adaptation (GGA) at the conference and demanded a doubling of the climate adaptation funding. At the conference, Bangladesh emphasized on political commitments from major carbon emitters to reduce global carbon emissions. The Bangladesh delegation said that the developed countries will have to play a leadership role to keep global warming within the range of 1.5 degrees Celsius.
We hope that this COP will deliver the promises the agreement make in the Paris and limiting the global warming up to 1.5 degree. At the same time, support developing nations and vulnerable nations through adaptation funding and also the new fund loss and damage that has been formulated in this COP28.
Developing nations like Bangladesh are waiting to learn what the final deal would deliver to the world. Currently, nations are focused on two issues. One is to adopt ambitious targets to reduce global carbon emissions in climate mitigation, and the second is to express the willingness of countries to overcome the climate crisis.
I guess possible transitioning might have some impact, so we will see that in the long run, but for now we have to see what it brings forward for us.
Bangladesh's expectations from COP28 are rooted in the nation's urgent need to address climate change impacts and secure a sustainable future. By actively participating in negotiations and promoting climate solutions, Bangladesh played a pivotal role in shaping the outcomes of COP28.
In COP28 agreement, Sultan Al Jaber failed to meet the 1.5 degree Celsius target, and just transition required more finance. It should be funded. So we need financial commitment to just transition from fossil fuel to renewable energy, and it's a big signal that the fossil fuel era come to an end.
Climate experts have repeatedly emphasized how urgent it is for the world leaders to take decisive action right now to reduce carbon emissions. They emphasize that more time that passes before taking action, the more expensive and difficult it will be to adjust to the continuous developments. For Bangladesh, a nation that is extremely vulnerable to the effects of climate change, COP28 is especially important.